Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. As you guys know, this is the midterm week, and I know that word midterm can have a lot of scary connotations, but I'm here to tell you today that it shouldn't be that scary at all. If you are familiar with the text, if you've been reading them, and if you've been participating in the discussion board posts, then you should be completely fine during this midterm. It's taking a lot of the ideas that you've already been doing and then expanding them and putting some text in conversations with each other. That's it. Nothing new, no new topics, no new texts. It's just taking what you've been doing and expanding it a little bit longer. So that's what this video is here to do, is to explain to you the midterm, the details about it. We'll walk through some of the questions, and then I will give you instructions on where to turn it in. So without any further ado, let's go here to Blackboard, which is where the midterm information is. The checklist is fairly short this week because you already know you're going to be turning in your midterm. So, and then you've already clicked the link for this video, either here or from the announcement. So once you are ready and you want to take a look at this, you open the midterm exam. There we go. And then when you see this screen, you want to click Start Attempt. Now on the next screen that it pulls up, and I'm about to show you all this, it has all of the instructions for the midterm and then the midterm questions there at the bottom, and then a place to turn it in. So everything is in one space, only one click. I found that that's easier rather than having to have you click on multiple things. So everything you need is right there in that link. Once you click Start Attempt, it opens everything up. Of course, if you have questions, please let me know, especially early on in the week, so that I have a lot of opportunity to help you. So let's go back to Blackboard, and you'll see here that you have the midterm instructions. So what I'm looking for is a 1,500 word, or about 5 spaces, and that's double spaced in 12-point font, right? Just a standard double spaced paper. It's about 5 pages or 1,500 words, roughly about 300 words a page. Essay that explores one theme over at least 2 of the different texts that we've used this semester. So when you do that, I want you to keep these key ideas in mind. 1, you want to build your essay from a central thesis statement. Now this idea is the things that I've been pushing you towards of this in the SEAL method of state your idea, of having an idea of what you want to do from the outset of your writing. So think about the one thing that you want to prove and the multiple ways that you're going to prove it in comparing these texts. You know, as we looked at the Chaucer assignment for the general prologue, one of the things I encourage a lot of you to do is to connect to that reason why. Why is this information important? And that's really important to think about as you look at these texts. So let's say you're going to address something from Beowulf and Sir Gawain. It's not enough to just simply say, here's how Gawain puts it, and here's how Beowulf puts it. We want to say, this is the central idea, and this is how these texts put it for this reason. And that can be the link back to the cultural understandings. Perhaps you're tracking an idea as it changes over time, or perhaps you're saying, these texts come from different eras, but they're saying the same thing, and what does that tell you about the idea that they're presenting? So always think in terms of that why question, so that you're carrying me along with you through your details. So that's the main thing, to think about the thesis statement, what you want to prove. You can present it in your introduction as a means of bringing a reader into the medieval period and then saying, and this is what I want to prove in the medieval period. You want to construct the body paragraphs to follow logical progression from the argument, topic sentence, examples from the text, and explanations of how these examples prove your overall points. In other words, each paragraph is its own little SEAL method. And if you want, it's already posted there in Blackboard, but you can use the SEAL method there and just simply walk through each of those paragraphs. This is what I want to do in each paragraph. So think about it, uniting it under subtopics or under specific ideas. You have the option, if you want, of doing one text in discussion of a topic and then the other text to draw those together, or you could go different categories within the text. Both of them present topic A in this way, topic B in this way, topic C in this way. Either one is fine. It's more focused on making sure that each paragraph has a logical progression through the paragraph, and then that it ties into the overall goal that you're trying to accomplish with the thesis statement of the paper. Make sure you show rather than tell with examples from the text. Quotes work well when you want to point to specific lines. In other words, what I don't want to see and what you don't need to do is have an entire paper full of just summary. That is very tempting because what ends up happening is you have a thing that you're trying to prove from the text. You provide the details from the text that you think prove the point, but you don't provide the quotes that reflect it, and you don't move to that summary or move to that connection to the overall point. So what it ends up being is summary, 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 and then a try to attempt to close. That's way up here when I'm asking you to write down in the specific spaces of writing. So thinking about how am I presenting my information clearly with examples from the text. That's where that seal method is so important. Don't tell me the text describes Sir Gawain as this. Show me. For example, quote, and this quote shows how it connects to the topic sentence. If you turn in a paper without any quotes in it, you're not going to do well because that's what this assignment requires. And that's what writing like this is going to require from you. And that's not unique to English. That's every class that you're going to take from this point forward, is that we want you to show rather than tell your information. So include those quotes, include that information to help me follow along with what you're saying. You don't need to use any outside materials for this exam. You only need the text themselves. I'm going to say this just as a general observation. It's pretty obvious when outside materials are coming in, and I would rather not have to pursue that with you. And so what we can do is we'll both be honest with each other, and then you can just put your information forward, and that you can present your arguments here and drawing these ideas together. And so including I need some help thinking through honor and Beowulf. You don't need to go to something like Cliff Notes or those other resources like that. If you've been reading the text and reading the discussion notes each week, you've got everything you need. And go back and look at those notes. They're all there. Just look at each week's representation. You can see, oh, okay, here it is. Here's point A. Here's point B. Here's where we talk about honor. Here's where it talks about chivalry. Here's where it talks about Christianity. Those different things, they're all there in the reading notes. Those are accessible for you to use. Don't quote them, but if you need some guidelines, that's the place to go. Please don't, or I'd encourage you not to go out to something that's going to try to summarize the text online. They're probably not wrong on their own right, but they're not specific to this course. And so what can end up happening is that I get some generalized information about the Knight's Tale in Chaucer, but it's not really connected to the ideas of chivalry, honor, virtue that we've been talking about this semester. So I lay that out there as just a good encouragement to you to really make sure that you're using your own ideas. Finally, think deeply rather than broadly. You don't have to summarize the complete narratives. Focus on those elements that are the most important for your overall point. In other words, you don't have to share the entire plot of the story. If you really want to focus on Beowulf's battle with the dragon as a key point, we don't really need to know about Beowulf's battle with Grendel or Grendel's mother unless they're in some way informing that information and that battle with the dragon. Otherwise, you just end up saying the same things, and we end up a long stretch basically summarizing the entire text of Beowulf when that's not necessary for the paper you're trying to write. So focus specifically on those elements and really think deeply, and that's where the quotes are going to help you, because you show what the text is doing and then you're explaining how that quote illustrates your overall point. And you start stringing those ideas together, that's where you end up with a strong 5-page paper. Now, most of the time you've been fine on the discussion board post to just write it in that space or copy paste it in that space. I'm going to ask you to actually use Microsoft Word or Pages or Google Docs or something that is uploadable as a file. for a couple of reasons. One, it's a little easier for me to grade specifically on that because I can check the formatting a little more easily. I'm still going to be able to check the format. I can do it more easily that way. But secondly, and perhaps more importantly, is you can really take advantage of something like spelling and grammar check. Now, I know that we're all coming with different backgrounds and different writing styles and experiences, but one of the things that's really difficult as a reader is when there's a lot of grammar and spelling errors. It's difficult to follow your ideas. So use those resources that are available to you so that you're correcting along the way, especially with something like misspellings that can get through pretty easily. So use that, and then when you're done, when you're ready, you want to upload it into this section. So just like this, you click on the attach button and then add it in there and then click submit. Now remember, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this now. But when you put this in, right, here's just a rubric from this class. You click, it's here, you see it here, and then I don't know why that's not showing as, because it's probably not open yet. But there it goes. Okay, so once you click submit, remember this is super important right here. If you commit, once you click submit, and then you will see this screen where it says your submission was successful. Sorry, my hand was a little close to the camera there. Your submission successful. Make sure you see this screen, right? And what it's also going to do, where is it? There it is you click close, and I'm going to actually go and I'm going to have an email here that's going to confirm that I have submitted this. As soon as my email opens, all right, we'll come back to that so that we don't. Nope. Okay, here we are. Sorry. So you see this right here? Submitted on this day. I have gotten this confirmation number. That goes over to me at that point, and it shows me that you are that you've submitted it and it's available to grade. But you've got to see, you've got to click submit twice to make sure that I get it. If you're having any issues with it, of course, email me. And for whatever reason, you're welcome to just straight email me the paper. I can grade it from that perspective too. So make sure that you click that part twice. Okay, so to the midterm questions. Let's go back here. All right, there it goes. Sorry. Okay, so I've got 4 questions here. We're focused on several of the major themes we've discussed. First, this idea of heroes and heroism. Secondly, about Christianity. Third, we're going to look at specific to the term of virtue. And finally, fourth, looking at the concept of chivalry. Now, all of these topics are interrelated, as you know, because we've been talking about them throughout the semester. So really think of these questions as a lens through which you are going to look at these texts. If you want to talk about Christianity, well, the concept of chivalry is very much engaged with that, and you can talk about how the influence of Christianity comes in with this concept of chivalry. Or if you're talking about virtue and chivalry often go together, chivalry and heroism. You're going to use all of those terms. But what I'm looking for is for you to respond to one of those specific prompts and that you're focused on that particular idea. So if you start off talking about heroism and then you end up with an entire post that's focused specifically on chivalry, that's not going to work. But what you can do is say chivalry was very much an important part of how this time period defined heroism or something like that. And you'll notice that I say a lot of that a lot of the time where I'm saying something like that, something like that, because I don't have a distinct thing that I am looking for you to do in this assignment. I don't have an answer. That's one of the beauties of an English class, is that there's not multiple choice here. I want to see you exploring the ideas with depth so that I can really see how well you're using the text and engaging with the ideas of the course. So go ahead, get started early. Go ahead and select your text and start mapping out this exam. It's Monday, so you've got plenty of time to start doing it. If you wait until Friday, you're not going to give yourself a lot of opportunity. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at any point this week, and I'll be happy to correspond with you. Hope you have a great week, and I will talk to you soon.